Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm getting into today's recap. Today is the 4th of December. It's Thursday, 4th of December, 2025, and I'm going over today's price action. What I was looking for today. Today wasn't really a high probable day, so I took a trade on my eval and I lost like $300. Managed my risk well, but I kind of just got caught in chop, and is what it is. And so I'm going to go over that and what I was thinking coming today. So coming today, I had a pretty bullish bias come into today. And we had these 4-hour equal highs, relative equal highs up here, which were my final draw on liquidity for today's price action. I'm still bullish, to be honest, even if we do come in and take these, because just overall we've been disrespecting every single gap to the left of us, all bearish 4 hours inverse, even a daily, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, daily for value gap inverse and everything. Like, we are just, gunning for these highs up here and gunning for this entire range. Obviously it's like a, market maker. Boom. Buy model in a sense. Where's the tool? Hold on. Hold on. Can't find the tool. Where's the tool? There it is. Pretty simple, bullish bias I feel for today. Market maker buy model. Whatever. Oop. You know. It was just a bullish bias again, rejecting off higher time frame PDRAs. We had a 4-hour SMT within a 4-hour fair value gap, where ES took the lows within here, Nasdaq didn't, and we rejected off the 4-hour and then make moves higher. Boom. Yeah, we just swept out. Asia session in London made a move higher. Like, everything was just looking pretty bullish today. It's a pretty bullish profile. So yeah, that was just my bias for today. I was pretty bullish up to those 4-hour equal highs at minimum. I was still going to be bullish after that as well. So yeah, what I was looking for today was pretty simple. What I wanted to see was a sweep of like London session liquidity, and then we have a rejection off this point, and then ES maybe taps the 15-minute, which was there beside London, and then we start to make a move higher. There was really no fair value though. This was a pretty low probability day. Like, there was no fair value gaps on NQ, and the only PD array that I had any like sights on was this 1-hour order block, but like it wasn't really the strongest. The PD arrays were more on ES. There was a 15-minute for value gap on ES. I don't know where it was. I think it was, yeah, right here, this green box that I marked out. So at that, coming into today again, yeah, pretty bullish up to those 4-hour highs. And then I don't know, yesterday it was Microsoft that caused the move higher, and then today, yeah, today it was Meta. Out of nowhere at 9 a.m., Meta news came out or something, and it pumped the market up and took out all my draws on liquidity. But again, I was still bullish at this, and I'm trading on this eval, so I was still willing to like look for a setup today, which would make sense. And then the setup I decided to take, it made perfect sense. On paper, it was an A+ setup, but in this price action, it wasn't the best. So I probably shouldn't have taken the setup, but just because of how price action was today, it just wasn't good at all. So here it was here. So we had EQ, a rebalance on EQ. We had a tap against this order block again. So we rejected off this order block. ES came down, swept out London 2, and rejected off this 15-minute for value gap, and we opened up a unfilled 15-minute for value gap here, and we had a 5-minute for value gap up here as well. So this was like 10 a.m. Yeah, 10 a.m. manipulated lower here. So we moved lower, manipulated out this internal structure, and then we left this 1-minute for value gap. And another reason why I took this was, one, we had a CVD divergence here. So we had a CVD divergence with this internal structure here. So Nasdaq swept out this internal structure, and the CVD chart was showing the opposite. So the CVD chart was like moving here, and then looking like it was trying to make some moves higher. And we left this 1-minute for value gap, and we had a bunch of LRL here as well, which I liked. And of course, we had this unfilled 15-minute and this 5-minute for value gap above with highs above 2. And I was overall bullish on the day. Rebalance of EQ, a rejection of an order block, ES rejecting out of a 15-minute PD array, sweep of internal structure, CVD divergence, higher time frame SMT at the bottom of the structure as well. I was pretty bullish coming into today. Even with this move lower, we just took out a bunch of liquidity, and I was just waiting for a move higher, to be honest, for a good displacement. So it's this 1-minute fair value gap was the highest time frame for value gap within this leg of price, and we ended up I think we ended up inversing it like right here, but I didn't like this inversion. This was pretty bad closure. It wasn't good displacement, so I was waiting for proper displacement, and then we got the proper displacement right here. So I ended up entering longs right here with my stop at the low here, and my take profit being at this entire internal structure, this 5-minute fair value gap up here, break even at these equal highs, these relative equal highs here. They were bang on equal highs on ES, but they were relative equal highs on Nasdaq. So I was like, at bare minimum, we come up to here and I get break even. And if I get break even, it is what it is. Cool. So I entered longs here, and then we ended up chopping around a bit, and I just got caught in pure chop, which was sort of expected with this kind of price action. Probably shouldn't have taken this just due to the price action today, but this was a good setup on paper, like for sure. This was a good setup, but again, the narrative today was just kind of ass. It wasn't the greatest. So we entered longs here, yeah. Break even at these equal highs. I think at this point, ES actually made another SMT with this structure right here, and then we started to move higher. And then at this point, when we made this SMT, I moved my stop loss to this low right here. And then once we came into this 1 minute fair value gap and we rejected out of it again, I moved my stop loss to this low inside this 1 minute fair value gap right here. So I was risking like 15 points on this trade or something. It was like, it wasn't really much. I took this trade with 1 mini. Then after we had this displacement up out of this 1 minute, we just displaced lower. And I ended up getting stopped out here. And it was good that I decided to manage my risk like this, because at this point, if price came lower than this, I wouldn't even want to be in this trade anymore. Like, it was just pure chop. I was in this trade for like 20 minutes and there was just no movement. So I was like, yeah, I definitely shouldn't be in this in the first place, to be honest. This price action just isn't going to provide us with some good displacement and movement today. By the looks of things. So good thing I moved my stop to here and managed my position correctly, or else I would have gotten shafted of like $700 or something instead of I think it was 320 or 300 something dollars, $320 I think it was. So good move from me, but then again, probably shouldn't have taken the trade in the first place, because it's just how we were moving. Like, we were just moving sideways this entire time. And then we ended up manipulating out of this internal structure, and we opened up this 2 minute fair value gap, I think it was. Yeah, and then we instantly displaced through that, and then I was like, oh yeah, we're probably going to move to the 50-minute fair value gap now and the 5 minute above. But again, at this point, I was going to stick to my rules: one trade and done. I've changed my rules now to one and done, because I feel like it just makes logical sense when you trade a model like this. For example, if you trade like anything similar to PB's model, or like Blake's model, or anything like with lower that sacrifices lower RR for higher win rate, I feel you should not be taking more than one trade a day. Like, that's just me personally, because it just makes logical sense. Like, I was taking 2 trades a day before, but then I just thought to myself, like, does it really make sense? Because your model has a high win rate for a reason, right? Your setups happen, and they have high conviction on them. So if that setup fails, are you really willing to take another trade? Because if you think about it, your stop loss is usually big as well. Like, it's bigger because it's a lower RR model, so you're gonna have a bigger stop. And if your stop loss is bigger, but your win rate is higher, why should you take more than one trade a day? Because if you lose 2 trades in a singular day, which you most definitely could, right? Like, if I were to take this trade now, even after losing the first one, and I lost this, then I could take a win tomorrow and hop off the charts, and I wouldn't be in profit, because I just took 2 losses in a row with a relatively big stop loss. That's not going to cover for like a 1-to-1 RR, or 1-to-1.5 RR, or 1-to-1 or 1-to-5, even a 2 RR. Like, it might not even, it could be break even on a 2 RR trade. So with a model like this, like my model, the model I trade, it usually targets like 1-to-1 sometimes, or 1-to-0.5, or 1-to-1.5, sometimes 1-to-2, sometimes even 1-to-3, depending on the day. But like, realistically speaking, I feel like I shouldn't be taking more than 1 trade a day. So that's what I'm going to do from now on. It's only going to be 1 trade a day, and it's not going to be 2, because I feel like if I lose 2, it doesn't really make sense. Because if I win 1, I'm done for the day. If I lose 2, if I lose 1, I should also be done for the day in that sense. I feel the only way it can be logical to trade again after technically losing is if you get break even. If you get break even with this model and your draw on liquidity is super clear and you get another re-entry, then sure, I feel like that's fine to take it. But if you take an L, that means your trade idea was technically ruined, right? In a sense, your trade idea was false for that moment, which means, you probably shouldn't take another trade again, because if you do end up losing it, well, then that's going to cause you to be in negative. And even if you win the next trade, it might not even cover for those 2 losses due to your higher RR, or lower RR and higher win rate. So simply just always tomorrow, just wait for tomorrow. And if price action offers you an A+ setup and you take it, cool, now you're in profit, instead of being break even or whatever, because you took 2 trades and lost both of them the day before, doesn't really that's like kind of the logic behind it for me. And I think we ended up delivering here. Yeah, so we edged here, but ES came in and took out, tapped into this 15-minute for value gap here. So this is a negative hour trade in a sense, unless you had it here, which is also fine to do, low-key, like at the spotty, because this is a 2-minute for value gap, which we opened. So you'd want to see this get respected either way. So technically like a 1-to-1 here. Was it a 1-to-1? Yeah, technically a 1-to-1, because ES came in and tapped into this 15 unfill 15 minutes, so it's an SMT. And of course, my rules when it comes to this is if there is an SMT at my final take profit and the draw isn't as clear, I will take my position off. So that was basically it. So I got manipulated out after this accumulation, after just trading sideways. See, the thing is, I had a great feeling that this was the manipulation, and then we're going to start to deliver up towards here after this, but we ended up just moving sideways and then manipulating again and then delivering. But yeah, that's basically it. And then I think we ended up actually coming lower today, ever so slightly, and then we pumped up again. Yeah, we just we just traded sideways literally today. It was just pure chop, just traded sideways even on like the 50-minute. And then if we look at the 4-hour too, like the 4-hour just looks super choppy. So today definitely wasn't a high probable day, and so I probably shouldn't have just taken the setup at all, which is fine. Is what it is. We learn from it and we move on. Documenting my entire journey to profitability here, so you guys are going to see all the mistakes I make in the future when I'm getting consistent payouts and living profitably off day trading. You guys are going to get to see my entire journey, all the mistakes I made, which I think is pretty cool because I don't even know if anybody else has even done that in the trading space. So I think it's a good idea to actually show people that it's 100% like this is the reality of trading. Like this is the learning process, and this is what you'll go through and the lessons you'll learn before you become profitable. So yeah, tomorrow is Friday. Will I be trading tomorrow? I will be trading tomorrow. If price offers us a good setup, I'm still looking pretty bullish on the higher time frame. So we'll see coming into tomorrow. We probably might end up Friday. Usually the delivery day could end up pumping up towards these highs tomorrow. We'll see. Obviously we'll see what the overnight session does, and we'll determine our bias through there. And yeah, that's basically it for today's recap, guys. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you guys want to talk to me personally, my Instagram and Discord will be in the bio below. You can add those or shoot me a DM on either, whatever it may be, and I'll 100% answer any questions that you guys have. So simple enough. That's going to be it for today's trade recap, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.